My name is Mia, and this is another one of those videos where I'm just gonna come and hang out and talk for a little bit. I basically have my own podcast, but in video form. I should put these into podcasts. I've been sick the last few days, as you may have noticed by my not posting on Sunday, unfortunately, or all of the mismatched videos on my Instagram. I think I'm on the mend. It wasn't COVID. I've tested negative like 87 times. It was just nasty. I mean, everyone I've been around has been getting these colds. Maybe it's the flu, I don't know. Had a whole slew of symptoms and it was a mess, but still negative, and I think I'm getting better. Mostly just like zonked at this point. I've overcome my sore throat, which is lovely and super relieving. Yeah, it's pretty much just exhausted at this point. So I've had to cut back on work a little bit, cut back on music a little bit. You know, I haven't been resting a ton. I did in Anguilla, which I talked about in those vlogs, but normally I'm good about giving myself rest. But you get into a habit and you have a project you want to work on, and rest kind of takes a back seat. So this was kind of rest that was forced on me, and I think it was good because I have a busy couple of weeks coming up and a lot of things that I want to get done. So it was nice to take a step back. In this video, I thought since I am running out of ideas, I would talk to you about the movies that I watched while I was sick. Because, as you know, I don't watch a ton of movies because, I don't know, I just don't have the time to, you know? I kind of decided to get caught up on a bunch of movies that I wanted to see, and even just dumb ones, I guess. But I'm not a huge person for, like, rom-coms. I like to watch the movies that are winning awards, which I guess you could call me basic for that. You know, I like to know the things that other people know so I can talk to people about them. I watched 5 movies over the course of technically 2 days. There was one day I didn't watch any. We're gonna talk about them. So the first movie I watched was the new West Side Story of 2021. I am huge on musicals. That is something that you probably can gather about me. And I don't have a ton of experience with West Side Story as a musical. I never really listened to it for the first time. I kind of just have taken bits and pieces, so I know most of the songs from it just because of pop culture and being in choir and that kind of thing. So there were maybe 4 or 5 songs I didn't know, but I really liked it, and I felt like it was a really good musical movie. There are definitely a lot of musical movies that I don't appreciate because, you know, I love them on Broadway, right? So it's hard to transfer them from the stage to the screen. Yeah, I felt like they did a good job of maintaining the theatricality of it, especially in some of the numbers. They almost kind of just left the camera where it was and let them do their choreography, and I think that was very Broadway-y, true to how you would have seen it on Broadway, which I really appreciated about that, because I think a lot of times, for example, like in Dear Evan Hansen, they try to really make it like a movie when it is kind of intended to be a Broadway show. I liked that about it. It took me a little while through the movie to remember that West Side Story is based on Romeo and Juliet, and of course I did the stereotypical Romeo and Juliet in freshman year, and I loved it because I'm pretentious like that. It was pretty sad to get to the fight scene because I forgot about that part, so did not like that. But that's just the story, and you have to deal. And spoilers. There are going to be spoilers throughout this whole video. But I really appreciated that Maria didn't die. I guess I really didn't know what was going to happen because I thought she would, and she didn't. So that was a nice surprise. Overall, I was a fan. The second movie that I watched was Coda, because I felt like you gotta watch the Best Picture winner. Coda was interesting. I felt like it was a really interesting choice for Best Picture because it is very coming of age movie, you know, and I think usually for Best Picture they pick a little bit more sophisticated movies, but I thought it was really cute, and I think it was a really interesting take on a coming of age story, because usually it's lonely, somewhat entitled teenager, and this time, you know, she legitimately had struggles that she was going through, and I think, yeah, it was interesting to see a coming-of-age story where someone has a struggle against it that isn't just based on peer pressure or their own just self-worth issues, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a really well put together take on a really tried and true concept. So I liked it. I don't think I would watch it again just because those coming of age stories, despite my having a song about them, aren't always my favorite. It depends, of course, but when it's just like modern coming of age, not so much a fan as when, they give it a theme where it's like retro coming of age or a period drama coming of age or a sci-fi coming of age. The script was really fantastic, actually. The third movie I watched with my friend. We just kind of went on Netflix and randomly chose one because she was sick too. We watched The Weekend Away, which came out this year. It's Leighton Meester, if I'm pronouncing that right. And basically she goes to Croatia for a vacation with her best friend, and then her best friend disappears and she has to like solve that mystery. And I love Europe, so it was fun to watch a movie that was completely set in Europe. It was okay. It was a Netflix show. It was interesting enough. It definitely wasn't like scary at all, which I appreciate because I'm not really one for super scary things unless there is an actor in it that I love and that I can get over it. It had drama and mystery without being like really scary. But I always read Rotten Tomatoes reviews before I watch a movie, and I think they were right in that there were maybe too many twists that didn't have a lot of weight to them. Every 15 minutes there was a twist. It was a good like sick brain watch with a friend kind of thing. The fourth movie I watched was A Rainy Day in New York, which I had been meaning to watch for a long time because I love Timothée Chalamet with all of my heart. I have a song about him. Go find it on my Instagram. It's a little bit hidden. I have watched a bunch of his major movies. Little Women is my favorite movie. Dune, The French Dispatch, Lady Bird, those kinds of things. I hadn't seen A Rainy Day in New York because I don't know. I had never been super compelled to find it. In A Rainy Day in New York, Timothée Chalamet was the most Timothée Chalamet I've ever seen him in a role. Very just like bumbling, awkward. So it was fun to just watch Timothée Chalamet gallivants in the rain for a whole movie, but I felt like the script was absolutely horrible. I mean, for everyone in that movie, they were very shallow roles, and it was a shallow script. But again, Timothée Chalamet in a blazer bumbling around in New York in the rain, I'll get behind it. So it was alright. I think I would pick Little Women over A Rainy Day in New York as a comfort movie, but I think I'm gonna try some more Woody Allen movies because I like the concept of like vibing in a beautiful city with beautiful people. And it was the first Woody Allen movie I'd seen actually. So, and then an honorable mention before the last one, I started 500 Days of Summer, and I think I watched like 45 minutes of it. And then I got hungry because I really enjoyed The Last 5 Years, and I thought maybe it'd be a similar concept where you're jumping through time and this relationship through different eras. But I felt like they jumped around a lot. Like they would do these like 3-second clips and then jump to a different time. And I know so many people love the movie, so I was a little surprised to find that I didn't really love it very much. And I like to watch movies through, so maybe I'm missing something. From the first 45 minutes, I wasn't really a fan. The last movie that I watched while I was sick was Dead Poet Society. And I had been waiting to watch Dead Poet Society until I read the book because I'm a big proponent for reading the book before watching the movie. But I kind of just decided not to wait anymore because I don't know if you get this, but like it's so weird how you go on Netflix and they have so many options and you just don't want to watch any of them. And I've got like Netflix, Prime, Disney Plus. You would have thought I'd be able to find a movie, but I just decided to watch it. And I think because I love that kind of aesthetic, like the dark academia situation, I turned it on and at first I was like, this is a nice aesthetic, but I don't really understand what's going on. And I kind of checked out a little bit. I made some mac and cheese while I was watching it. And then, spoiler alert, Neil? What the heck? I, like, all of a sudden this happens, and I'm, like, kind of paying attention, so I had been following the plot line and everything, but, like, I was like, oh my gosh, because I had texted my friend before I started watching, and she's like, oh, it's so wholesome, it's so sweet, and I'm like, what are you talking about? This is so sad, and I felt like it was a really good ending after that, like, a really good way to honor Neil and honor their teacher, and of course the aesthetic is really nice throughout the whole movie, and I love the moral, but that was sad. So no, I'd probably watch it again, but not like avidly. There are some movies that you can't take your eyes away. I definitely could. But it was a nice like comfort movie until that happened, and then you're like, oh shoot, this is serious. But once it gets serious, I think they do it in a nice way, so I appreciated that. So yeah, those were the 5 movies that I watched while I was sick. Well, I'm still a little sick. Trying to recover from it because I've got a bunch of travel coming up, and you heard about that in the March recap. I'm super stoked for that, so I'm trying to stay healthy for it, despite not being able to work on music and go to work, which is a bummer, but I want to stay healthy so I can make these memories and continue on the track that I want to be on. Thank you for watching this video. I'm glad you stuck around to listen to my rants about these random movies. If you liked this video, I have a bunch more where I talk about the things that I've done every month and my history with music and a couple vlogs, so you can check that out in my vlogs playlist. Or you can find all of the music videos that I've made, all the demos and acoustic videos of my original songs and a couple covers on my demos playlist. Also, make sure you subscribe, like the video, comment on the video, turn on notifications, and go and check me out on my other social medias that are linked in the description. I've got Instagram, SoundCloud, Twitter, TikTok, all of these things. Go follow and say hello, and I'd love to hear your story and hear what you might like to hear more of. Thanks for sticking around, and I hope to be on the mend very quickly so I can come back for another video very soon. Bye.